Have you experienced a relationship where the person will fight you to defend a lie that they believe and that they live and that they walk in every single day? They'll argue with you about it. They'll do everything to justify it. And you know that it's not the truth. You know that they're living a lie, or that what they're doing is sabotaging their freedom, but yet they don't want to hear it. This type of individual, it's not even a type of individual, it could just be a season that they're in, that they may not be ready to fully hear the truth. But that should not make you stop being truthful. Because the Bible says the truth sets us free. So if you stop being truthful and instead go along with that person's lies so they don't feel uncomfortable, then you're not being authentic either. And at some point, we have to wake up and realize, like, what path are we going to take? And are we going to drag these people with us? You know, the ones that aren't ready, you know, that we feel like we need to change or help, or, you know, that there's hope for. Yes, there might be hope for, but that doesn't mean that you're the savior. And that doesn't mean that you trade your life for that. God says we should carry our friends' burdens, but he will bring the right people to you to walk with you. You know, you don't have to go out and say, well, just because this person's an old friend or this family member, I'm obligated to, be in their path and bring them along in my path. That's your choosing. So if that's bringing chaos, that's then stealing your life, then that's just the result of what you're choosing to engage in. And we have to get to the point that, like I'm at the point where peace and simplicity, it's like the older you get, the less drama, the less chaos, the less noise, the less stuff, the less clutter. It's like you want more of the good stuff and less of the lower things. And ourselves might even be the ones clinging on to those old ways. It's really easy to cling on to the things that bring us comfort, or that just feel familiar to us, because the unfamiliar is like, well, I don't want to go there. I'm not familiar with that. But that's how you grow. You grow in the unfamiliar. And I do this a lot too. Like, habits can be so hard that I'll start doing the same thing every single day, and then I realize 2 weeks went by and I'm in a cycle. Now, is this cycle producing good fruit? Am I prepared for what I've been praying for? Am I prepared? Am I even looking up to see what God has for me? Or am I too busy and focused on my own habits or my own patterns that aren't producing fruit? And it happens. It happens to all of us, because life gets busy, time passes, you realize, man, these days are going by so fast and it's busy, and what have I really done? And sometimes you feel like you're going backwards. This goes back to my previous video yesterday that I did, was measuring your progress by the week instead of the day. So you're not hard on yourself for not reaching those exact goals or to-dos for that day, but measuring it over a week. So I give myself a week. I have like a monthly to-do list, things I'd like to accomplish in that month that I can really do anytime, a weekly list, and then my daily to-dos, things that I got to knock out daily. And I use those as guidelines. I don't want them to control me and to have power over me, but I use it as guidelines to really stay on track. But that doesn't mean I don't need to tweak them. Sometimes I need to adjust them and say, well, this morning routine isn't working and I need to shift to this one. Some truths that I've found in all of this are like simple things that I always remind myself. Like if I need more bins or more organizers, I need less stuff, because I don't need more to organize. I need less to organize. So that right there, if I'm going, I need more bins or whatever, I need to pull back and really look at, what don't I need? What am I not really using? Now, some things you keep for a season. You're not going to get rid of if you've got Christmas trees, fake Christmas trees, you use them around the holidays. So obviously, if you're going to use that, you're only going to use it part of the year. So that's intentional storage. That's your seasonal storage that you use for certain times. Maybe you have a bin of like party supplies that you keep, and that's for birthday parties. That's stuff that you keep for a specific time, maybe a birthday party. Or you got clothes from one child that you're saving for the next child to grow into, so you have a bin or two of clothes that you're showing, hey, these are clothes that you're saving for that child to grow into. So those are intentionally, purposefully organized and put away. But if it's just stuff that maybe or hey, I haven't used this stuff in a year or 6 months, that's where we really have to ungrip, because we're clinging on to things that if you haven't used it, chances are you're not going to use it by storing it in a closet somewhere. That's not going to make you want to use that thing. And so sometimes we're the ones that we need to stop walking in this lie of, well, someday I'm going to use that. Someday I'm going to do it. Well, if you haven't done it in the past 5 years, what makes you think you're going to do it in the next year? Like, look at the pattern. So in order for things to change, we need to be the ones to change. So we need to be the ones to say, well, this is what I'm using, this is what I'm not using, this is, we need to be the ones in control so we can then have that shift in our environment, because you always want to make sure, your environment's always reciprocating back to you, really where you're at. So you may think, oh, I got everything together. Really? Look around. Do you? Because your environment can tell you something totally different. And so you want to make sure that it's a healthy reciprocation, that this, closet or this clutter or this room or whatever is feeling good. It's telling you what you want to hear. Like when my bed's made in the morning, it's just a good feeling. It's like, okay, I know that it's like an accomplished thing, though it's so little. Instead of walking by a big messy bed, that's like, oh, your life is sloppy, you don't care, just give up. It's like, that's what it's telling you. Just climb in me, give up, because everything sucks. When it's made, it says that you care. The other truth is that somebody is always going to say something. You're never going to win. Someone's always going to be mad. Someone's always going to have something to say. You should do, that's like I hate when people say, you should have done this. Well, that's in hindsight, because you can't change it. It's already done. So when they're like, you should have, that really bothers me. But, it's just knowing that you're not going to please everybody all the time. Somebody's going to dislike what you do. And it's interesting, like, if you're too talkative, they're mad. If you're not talking enough, they're mad. Like, it's like people are disgruntled anyways. And I notice even now more than ever, people are more annoyed by specific things or specific people or whatever. And you just have to be you. Like, don't lose your authenticity just because you are trying to feel loved or please somebody, or I know sometimes it's hard when you want to keep peace in the house and you want to keep a healthy environment for your children and a healthy atmosphere. And sometimes you just don't say anything because you just, you don't want to make a big deal out of little things sometimes. And so that's different. But stay true to you. The things that bring you joy and the things that really help lift your spirits, the things that just help you feel good. If you like painting or reading or walking or just whatever it is, that quiet time in the morning with your coffee and in a book or the Bible, do the things that really build strength and really give you peace, because what's going to help you weather the storms of life is peace. The strength is in that peace. And if you're not taking the time to slow down, have a slow morning or a slow afternoon, or just a slow day or a slow evening, if you're just busy all the time, chances are you're going to feel a little bit more frantic, and you're always going to feel like you're behind in something and you're never able to catch up. So, simple things to just adjust your schedule could be, going back to the beginning of this video, is not carrying people who aren't ready to change with you. That could free up a ton of time. The feeling guilty over it is something that you just need to deal with. The moment that I was liberated from, the moment that I knew I had changed, I had reached another level, is when I stopped feeling guilty that I didn't want to drag people or pull people along. Like, I felt good. I felt fine setting up boundaries. As before, I would have felt guilty, or I'm hurting them, or, because so-and-so says I shouldn't do this or I should do that. But when I stopped feeling guilty, I knew I had changed and I had grown. You are not responsible for everybody, and you're not going to take everybody with you. You're going to be accountable for what you do, and you're going to be judged for what you do. And so that just helps free up a large chunk of time. It's a large chunk of time. So you have to look at those time-wasting activities that aren't producing. And like I said, sometimes people are just so stuck in their ways. They're clinging on to old ways. They're clinging on to old things. They're not ready to let go. And you're not going to be the one riding in on your, big shiny horse ready to save the day. They're not ready. They're not ready no matter what. It's like you could, the truth could be right in front of them. and they still won't see it. So it'd be better for you to just demonstrate with your life, move on, demonstrate with your life, do what you have to do, keep bettering yourself, and let them be intrigued. What are they doing? You know, I know people that secretly are spying on me. Most of the time they want to see me fail. Those are the ones that are like, yeah, well, I'll see. Geez, you should have done what I said. And you're always going to have people like that secretly want to see you fail. And they'll be watching your Instagram or checking out your YouTube videos, you know, or secretly, oh, so have you heard from her, so-and-so, or whatever, because they want to hear bad news. So they could say, oh, yeah, see, I told them they should have done this, or I knew it all along, you know, whatever. Give them, you know, just let them do the Mel Robbins things, let them. But also, don't let that stop you. Use that for fuel to keep bettering yourself for those around you. Like, you're accountable to your spouse and your kids and God. It's not everybody else, your long lost friends, your long lost cousins, their family, their aunts and uncles. It's not this whole, you're not going to please everybody. So you might as well just do your thing and be happy. Run your race, be happy. Like, get down to that. What are those things that make you feel like that child? You're excited. You know what makes me excited? Christmas. Oh, I love the holiday music, the Christmas baking, ice skating, snowball fights, you know, snowmen, like hot cocoa, gingerbread houses. I love the holidays, so it makes me feel excited. So I play Christmas music at home sometimes. I like it. I like the singing and the humming to it. I like to keep a youthful environment. I definitely don't want to create a lazy home where you're just there and you're like, okay, well, everything's all old and busted and beat up and cluttered, and you know, might as well just give up on life. You know, you have to keep moving. And I tell my kids that all the time, like, we just keep moving. You just keep moving. Some days are great. Some days are mundane. Some days you're accomplishing a lot. You're really productive. And some days you're not doing much. You just keep moving, and you just keep adjusting and getting better. And that's it. That's all you can do. Engage in the activities that make you feel good, help you to feel alive, full of gratitude, full of peace and thanksgiving, and you have that joy and that spark. Those are the activities you want to engage in. And of course, not every season is like that. You might be going through a hardship, you know, a loss, and you're in a grieving season or something, and you're taking the time that you need. But I know this video is going all over the place, but I'm just trying to knock out a bunch of different things that have really been on my spirit. And you know, it's like, if you're craving the peace and you're craving the simplicity, then do what you got to do to walk in that. And again, you're walking it out. It's not like a destination, like I finally have this simple life and everything's great, because there's always going to be something. You know, a kid's going to need something, a parent's going to need something. Like, there's always going to be something due, something owed. You got to do this, you got to do that. So this is where you get rid of the things. Okay, what can I remove that I'm engaging in, or that I'm spending a lot of time in, that's not producing fruit? I talk about this all the time because it's so time consuming. I know people who have told me, yeah, I want to start working out and I'm going to start this workout routine a year and a half ago, actually. And by the looks of them, they haven't started, though they've bought a lot of supplements and tried to do all of these extra things, but they're clinging on to old ways. So though they desire, they're not ready. So I'm not going to reach out to them and be like, yeah, are you ready? I coach women that are ready. I'm not going to force you, because when you're ready, you'll be ready to do what it takes. And when somebody's ready to do what it takes, they'll pay what they have to pay. They'll do the work. They'll wake up. They'll do it. When you're not ready, you're just going to keep making excuses and keep doing what you're doing to not do it. And that's how you can tell with people around you that they're not ready. You know, if they're still doing the same thing, though they might say they're ready, what they're doing is a totally different story. And how they're living. And God says, judge them by their fruits. Well, judge them by their fruits. Judge yourself by your own fruits. This is why it's so much better to demonstrate with your life and let them watch. The people who, they will watch what you do in secret or in public. And so you just keep doing what you know you have to do. And hopefully that inspires them to want to make a change in their life. And that's just going to be a better use of your time than you going out of your way to try to change them or tell them what you think they should do or whatever. And then it opens up sometimes that opens up an opportunity for them to poke at you when you're going through, a dip, because there's valleys and hills. And sometimes when you're in a valley, these specific certain people will poke out, oh yeah, see, you're going through a tough time. That's just part of the deal. Anytime it's like a child who's learning to walk, they're going to stumble. You wouldn't be like, haha, you fell. Well, it's part of the learning. So anytime you're reaching higher heights, it's going to be a little bumpy, and you're not failing unless you stop and quit. So you just keep going. And I've had people that you're going through, sometimes you're in the valley for a year or two, and I've had people poke and point and mock and judge for being in the valley, and I'm still going strong. And so you just show them the resilience, and you show them the perseverance. That speaks a lot louder. And you keep walking in truth, and you keep staying authentic. That speaks a lot louder than wasting time trying to change them and tell them what you think they should do when they're not ready.